Stop everything. Seriously, stop and check your pocket right now. Because what if I told you that a simple penny, the kind you ignore every single day, could actually be a small treasure hiding in plain sight? It sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. Today, we're talking about 3 specific coins that might be sitting in your home right now. The 1941 1-cent coin, the 1944 1-cent coin, and the rare 1945 D penny. Let's start with the 1941 penny. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. Brown color, Abraham Lincoln on the front. Nothing special, right? Wrong. The 1941 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln Wheat penny, is one of the most recognizable and widely collected coins in United States numismatic history. It belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse design until 1958. This coin carries both historical importance and collectible value, especially for enthusiasts who appreciate coins from the early 20th century era, just before the United States entered World War II. The obverse of the 1941 penny features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it the first regular-issue U.S. coin to depict a real person. The design shows Lincoln facing to the right, with the word Liberty on the left side and the date 1941 on the right. Above Lincoln's head is a national motto, "In God We Trust," which is clearly visible and well-defined on most examples. The designer's initials, VDB, can be found at the bottom of the reverse side, although on early coins from 1909, they were more prominent on the obverse. The reverse side of the coin displays 2 stylized wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above this is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This wheat design gives the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. The reverse design symbolizes agricultural prosperity and reflects the importance of farming in American society during the early 20th century. The 1941 penny was minted at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins produced in Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while those minted in Denver have a small D below the date, and those from San Francisco have an S in the same position. Each mint produced millions of coins that year, making the 1941 penny relatively common compared to some other years in the series. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 887 million pennies in 1941, making it one of the highest mintage figures in the wheat penny series. The Denver Mint produced approximately 128 million coins, while the San Francisco Mint struck around 92 million. Because of these high production numbers, most 1941 pennies are not considered rare, especially in circulated condition. However, coins that are well preserved, particularly those in uncirculated or mint state condition, can still hold significant value for collectors. The composition of the 1941 penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition was standard for Lincoln cents until 1943, when the U.S. Mint temporarily switched to steel pennies due to copper shortages during World War II. The coin has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its edge is plain, without any reading or lettering. Condition plays a major role in determining the value of a 1941 penny. Circulated coins, which have been used in everyday transactions, typically show wear on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and coat. The wheat ears on the reverse may also appear flattened or worn down. These coins are usually worth only a few cents above face value, unless they have unique features or errors. Uncirculated coins, also known as mint state coins, are much more valuable. These coins have never been used in circulation and retain their original luster and detail. Collectors often grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A 1941 penny in MS-65 gem mint state condition can be worth significantly more than a circulated example. Coins with a bright red color, referred to as red or RD by collectors, are especially desirable because they retain the original copper shine. Over time, copper coins tend to darken and turn brown due to oxidation, so red examples are less common and more valuable. There are also red-brown, RB, and brown BN designations used to describe the color of copper coins. Red-brown coins show a mix of original red luster and darker toning, while brown coins are fully toned and have lost their original brightness. Generally, red coins are the most valuable, followed by red-brown and then brown. Error coins from 1941 can also attract significant attention from collectors. These errors can occur during the minting process and may include double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin's design is stamped more than one slightly out of alignment, resulting in a visible doubling of letters or numbers. While not all 1941 pennies have such errors, those that do could be worth much more than standard coins. Another factor that can increase the value of a 1941 penny is its strike quality. Coins that were struck with fresh dies and proper pressure tend to have sharper details and more defined features. Collectors often look for coins with strong strikes, especially on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Weakly struck coins, on the other hand, may have flat or indistinct details, which can reduce their appeal and value. The historical context of the 1941 penny adds to its significance. This coin was minted during a time of global uncertainty, just before the United States entered World War II following the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941. As a result, the coin represents a transitional period in American history, when the country was preparing for major changes both economically and socially. Coins from this era serve as tangible reminders of the past and are often appreciated not just for their monetary value, but also for their historical importance. In terms of collecting, the 1941 penny is often included in Lincoln Wheat penny collections, which are popular among both beginner and advanced collectors. Because the coin is relatively common, it is usually easy to find, making a good starting point for new collectors. At the same time, high-grade examples and error coins offer challenges and opportunities for more experienced numismatists. Collectors often store their coins in protective holders, albums, or capsules to prevent damage and preserve their condition. Proper storage is especially important for copper coins like the 1941 penny, as they are prone to tarnishing and corrosion if exposed to moisture or air. Keeping coins in a cool, dry environment can help maintain their appearance and value over time. Now, let's move to the 1944 penny. The 1944 1-cent coin, widely known as the Lincoln Wheat penny, is an important and fascinating piece of United States coinage, especially because of the unique historical circumstances surrounding its production. This coin belongs to the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse design until 1958. It represents a critical period during World War II when the United States Mint had to make significant adjustments to coin composition due to wartime material shortages. The obverse of the 1944 penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing to the right, with the inscription, "In God We Trust," positioned above his head. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1944. This design had already been in use for decades by that time and had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The initials VB, representing the designer, are located subtly at the bottom of the reverse side near the rim. The reverse of the 1944 penny displays two wheat ears curving along the left and right edges of the coin, framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions is the motto E Pluribus Unum, which translates to "out of many one." This reverse design, often referred to as the wheat design, symbolizes agricultural strength and prosperity, reflecting the values of the nation during the early 20th century. The 1944 penny was minted at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint do not carry a mint mark, while those minted in Denver feature a small D below the date, and those from San Francisco have an S in the same position. The mintage numbers for 1944 were quite high, as the demand for coinage increased during the war years. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1.4 billion pennies, making it one of the highest mintage figures in the entire Lincoln cent series. The Denver Mint produced over 430 million coins, and the San Francisco Mint struck more than 280 million. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1944 penny is its composition. In 1943, Due to a shortage of copper needed for wartime production, the U.S. Mint produced pennies made of zinc-coated steel. However, in 1944, the Mint returned to using copper-based coins. But instead of relying entirely on newly mined copper, they used recycled brass from spent shell casings collected from military training facilities. As a result, the 1944 penny is often referred to as a shell case cent. Its composition is approximately 95% copper and 5% zinc, although the exact mixture can vary slightly due to the recycling process. The use of recycled wartime materials gives the 1944 penny a special historical significance. Each coin can be seen as a small piece of the war effort, symbolizing how even everyday objects were influenced by global events. This connection to World War II adds an extra layer of meaning for collectors and historians alike. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1944 penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs about 3.11 grams. Consistent with other copper Lincoln cent of the era, its edge is plain without any reading. The color of the coin can vary depending on its condition and level of oxidation. Newly minted coins would have had a bright reddish appearance, but over time, exposure to air and moisture causes the copper to darken, resulting in brown or red-brown tones. The condition of a 1944 penny is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Coins that have been circulated typically show signs of wear, particularly on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and the high points of the design. The wheat ears on the reverse may also appear worn or flattened. These circulated coins are generally quite common and are usually worth only a small amount above their face value. Uncirculated coins, also known as mint state coins, are much more desirable to collectors. These coins have not been used in everyday transactions and retain their original detail and luster. Collectors grade coins on a numerical scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better preservation. A 1944 penny in high mint state condition, especially one graded MS 65 or higher, can be significantly more valuable than a circulated example. Color designation is particularly important for copper coins like the 1944 penny. Coins are often classified as red RD, red-brown RB, or brown BN. Red coins retain most of their original mint luster and bright copper color, and are the most valuable. Red-brown coins show a mixture of original red and darker tones, while brown coins have fully oxidized and lost their original brightness. The difference in value between these categories can be substantial, with red coins often commanding a premium price. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1944 penny for collectors is the existence of rare error coins. Among the most famous are the 1944 steel pennies. These coins were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943, resulting in a small number of 1944 pennies made of steel instead of copper. These error coins are extremely rare and highly valuable, often selling for thousands of dollars at auction. A genuine 1944 steel penny is considered one of the most prized coins in the Lincoln cent series. Another notable error is the 1944 penny struck on a silver dime planchet, which is also extremely rare and valuable. In addition, collectors may find double die errors, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies that can increase a coin's value significantly. Authentication is very important when dealing with rare error coins like the 1944 steel cent. Because of their high value, there are many counterfeits and altered coins in the market. For example, some individuals may plate a regular copper coin with a silvery substance to make it appear like a steel cent, or they may alter the date on a 1943 steel penny to resemble 1944. Professional grading services and authentication experts are often used to verify the authenticity of such coins. The historical context of the 1944 penny adds greatly to its appeal. During this time, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and the economy was heavily focused on supporting the war effort. The use of recycled materials for coin production reflects the resourcefulness and adaptability of the nation during this challenging period. Coins from this era serve as tangible reminders of the sacrifices and innovations that defined the time. Collectors often include the 1944 penny in their Lincoln Wheat penny collections. Because it is relatively common in circulated condition, it is easy for beginners to acquire. However, Finding high-grade examples or rare error coins can be more challenging, making it an interesting and rewarding pursuit for experienced collectors. Proper storage and care are essential for preserving the condition of a 1944 penny. Most 1944 pennies are common, but here's the twist. The 1945 D1 cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny, is a significant and widely collected coin from the United States, especially because it was minted during the final year of World War II. This coin is part of the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse design until 1958. The 1945 D penny represents not only a piece of currency, but also a historical artifact from a time when the world was undergoing major political, economic, and social changes. The obverse of the 1945 D penny features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing to the right, with a calm and dignified expression. Above his head appears the inscription, "In God We Trust," which has become a standard feature on U.S. coins. To the left of Lincoln's profile is the word Liberty, and to the right is the date 1945, followed by a small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. This mint mark is an important detail for collectors, as it distinguishes the coin from those minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark. The reverse side of the coin displays the classic wheat design, which give the coin its nickname Wheat Penny. Two wheat ears curve along the edges of the coin, framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This design symbolizes agricultural abundance and reflects the importance of farming in the United States during the early 20th century. The 1945 D penny was minted in large quantities, with the Denver Mint producing approximately 266 million coins that year. Because of this high mintage, the coin is relatively common, especially in circulated condition. However, its historical context and the possibility of finding well-preserved or error examples make it appealing to collectors. Like other pennies of its time, the 1945 D coin is composed primarily of copper. Its composition is approximately 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was part of the Mint's return to copper-based coins after the brief use of steel cents in 1943 due to wartime copper shortages. The copper used in 1945 pennies often came from recycled materials, including spent shell casings from military training exercises, linking the coin directly to the war effort. The coin has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs about 3.11 grams. It has a plain edge without any reading. When freshly minted, the coin would have had a bright reddish color, often referred to as mint red. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling causes the copper to oxidize, leading to darker tones such as red-brown or brown. The condition of a 1945 D penny is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Circulated coins typically show where on the high points of the design, such as Lincoln's hair, cheek, and coat. The wheat ears on the reverse may also appear worn or flattened. These coins are usually worth only a small amount above their face value, although they are still collected as part of Lincoln cent sets. Uncirculated coins, also known as mint state coins, are much more valuable. These coins have not been used in circulation and retain their original detail and luster. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. A 1945 D penny in MS65 or higher condition can be worth significantly more than a circulated example, especially if it retains an original red color. Color designation plays a key role in the value of copper coins. A red RD coin retains most of its original mint luster and bright copper color and is considered the most desirable. A red-brown RB coin shows a mix of red and brown tones, while a brown BN coin has fully oxidized and lost its original brightness. The difference in value between these categories can be quite large, with red coins often commanding a premium. Collectors also pay attention to the quality of the coin strike. A well-struck coin will have sharp, clear details, particularly in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Weakly struck coins may have flat or indistinct features, which can reduce their appeal and value. Error coins from 1945 D can also be of interest to collectors. These errors occur during the minting process and may include double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, and other anomalies. While most 1945 D pennies are standard issues, those with noticeable errors can be significantly more valuable, depending on the type and severity of the error. The historical context of the 1945 D penny adds to its significance. The year 1945 marked the end of World War II, with major events such as the surrender of Germany in May and Japan in September. Coins minted during this time reflect a period of transition, as the United States shifted from a wartime economy to a peacetime one. The use of recycled copper in these coins highlights the resourcefulness and efficiency of the nation during and after the war. For collectors, the 1945 D penny is an essential part of any Lincoln Wheat penny collection. While it is not particularly rare, finding high-grade examples with strong strikes and original red color can be challenging and rewarding. Many collectors aim to assemble complete sets of Lincoln cents, including all years and mint marks, making the 1945 D an important piece of the puzzle. Proper storage and care are crucial for preserving the condition of a 1945 D penny. Copper coins are sensitive to environmental factors, so collectors typically store them in protective holders, albums, or airtight capsules. Keeping coins in a cool, dry place and avoiding direct handling can help prevent tarnishing and maintain their appearance over time. The market value of a 1945 D penny varies depending on its condition, color, and any unique features. A common circulated coin may be worth only a few cents, while an uncirculated red example can be worth several dollars or more. High-grade coins, or those with notable errors, can command higher prices, especially in auctions or among serious collectors. The 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny remains a popular and accessible coin for collectors of all levels. Its combination of historical importance, classic design, and potential for higher value specimens makes it a compelling addition to any collection. Whether discovered in an old jar of coins or purchased as part of a set, the 1945 D penny continues to capture the interest of numismatists around the world. Finally, let's talk about the 1945 D penny